Hi there guys, this is David again from the Xylem Zone, another one of the cons of property investing coming to you today. And this one is still focused on the off the plan type strategy, and again it's a strategy that's got many variables and many pitfalls if you don't know what you're doing. So the one I want to focus on today is the hidden cost of off the plan. Generally speaking, cash flow is obviously a very important factor in your property investing, and waiting for a long-term asset to give you growth is obviously going to take a lot longer in today's markets, especially when you're buying property as opposed to real estate with land, and especially with the amount of supply going up in some areas as well. So at the end of the day, cash flow is hugely important, and one thing that people don't take into consideration is all the additional costs that are actually you have to pay when you buy a unit. Now when you go out and buy a house and land, you know, you've got council rates, you've got water rates, you've got nobody corporate, you've got your insurance, you've got your interest, and you've got the property management. So they're pretty basic costs, and on average probably don't cost you much more than $5,000 to hold that property. But once you jump into a unit, maybe like one of the big ones up the back there, all of a sudden you might have lifts I should say, escalators, swimming pool, concierge, spa, sauna, all the different facilities that are provided there, plus landscaping, watering. You might need a full-time person on there just to maintain the property, and all of a sudden your body corporate fees or strata levies might cost you $5,000 just on their own. And once you start factoring in your other costs to do with that property, again from your landlord's insurance to your property management, to your rates, to your water bills, to your council rates, you know, all of a sudden you could be sitting in 10 grand. Now that might be all right if you're a high income tax earner. It may be all right when you're sitting on low interest rates at 4% or 5%. But if your interest rates creep up to 5 or 6 and 7 like they have been historically, and you're not with a high income, all of a sudden, and obviously with the risk of negative gearing may or may not be coming and going. And also if you haven't bought that unit new and you're not getting your depreciation deductions up front, all of a sudden a unit could cost you a hell of a lot of money out of your pocket, and maybe cost you 5 or 10 grand out of your own pocket every year, depending on your situation, which is obviously not great cash flow. So one of the hidden things is people they perceive value, or they only look at the rental return. They don't factor in all the other costs that can be there, because of course they're not really advertised by the person selling the property. And if you don't read the small print, you might pick it up, and you may just have a reference that units aren't that much. But obviously if you've got older units, the cost of the units is less because there's less infrastructure and things that need to be maintained. But pretty much if you're going for something new because you want the depreciation of that building because you're buying a property under 6 months old or brand new, you're generally going to have a lot of those facilities in there, and it's going to be a hell of a lot more to hold. So bottom line, do your numbers, make sure you've got a good calculator, sit down with your coach or your broker and run those numbers if you're not familiar with it yourself, and make sure you've got that worked out before you jump into any off the plan property, because the last thing you want is to buy a property that you think is going to make you money, and in the end the cash flow causes your world of pain, because cash flow is really the thing that hurts when things change, not the property values going up and down. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. That's David from the Xylem Zone signing off. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.